big change that happened in my life this past year. I moved out of BC to a brand new province and kind of felt like moving halfway around the world. The plus side to moving to Winnipeg from Nelson, BC was I joined some family there. My granddaughter, my daughter, and her husband, and their family, and it just felt like a good time in my life to connect to my people for a while. I think the call to adventure is deep inside you, and it comes and ebbs and flows. This particular time, it was like seeing a change in my life and the time I have ahead of me, and the things, getting back to the things I really truly love. And for me, it was kind of hearkening back the little girl in me. I once had a buckskin horse and lived really close to nature, and it just fed my soul. It made me feel free. So the thought of coming here was a part of that, and then combining the stewardship and the conservation and the sense of, I think through the mission statement, the philosophy, there was a real sense of purpose that really attracted me to be here. You know, the unknown is always stretches you. You wonder if you're prepared, you wonder how you're going to be with new people. For me personally, I wondered a little bit about my physical strength, your capacity to be in the moment. And I think I had mentioned to you, like, stopping the little chatter that sometimes happens in the mind in everyday life. I think this is so great for me to challenge myself and to get past those initial fears and just embrace it. A little mantra I had was, Brenda, just do your best. There's the practical parts, and then there's the deeper kind of spiritual parts. So the practical parts obviously is just really taking time to prepare for the trip, to make sure I had my gear, borrowing stuff from my kids to have the right stuff, and then asking questions to Leah over the last year a bit about how much I have to be prepared for as a rider, and worried. She knew I was worried about my strength, my physical strength. And the other parts are, how do I prepare inwardly to really make the best out of the experience? And that started with kind of a reflection on how I have shown up in my life a lot as an educator, and that I'm a perfectionist, and that I told myself on this trip that didn't have to be so, that I could just experience this moment in time just for me. This trip was, I think my kids said to me, and I said it out loud a few times before I came, this trip is just for me, and it's the first time I've done anything just for me. The moment I arrived at the ranch, I could feel this incredible sense of community and connection. And at first it was kind of like, wow, this is something. This is and because it's so intimate, it was like you drop in. And at first I was, wondering and curious. After that, it's kind of like it became similar to places in my life when I see people together with a common purpose and goal, and the synergy and the acceptance and grace and humility and responsibility that comes with that, knowing that you're all in it together and you've got one another's backs. And what I really noticed that was great is there's a lot of check-ins, because then you're really seeing what a person's capacity is at that moment in time. That's not a static thing. Check in with someone, you say, okay, how are we doing with our day, our plan, our emotions, our intellect, our spiritual well-being. That was just super impressive. I felt really great about it. I think the challenges initially were being in the saddle, settling into that in my body, and then the overcoming of it is just again, this sense of, okay, you're doing your best, just relax, just breathe, just feel the horse, listen to the instructions from the guides. Like, like I was saying to you guys, it's like this mantra, like the feed out, all the things like branch, or, feed out over mud. Well, we know all these expressions, that they became like this constant, this roadmap of our connection as we traveled through together. And also we're protecting the horses, we're protecting the land. So the getting over it, I didn't need to anymore. It took over. Like, it's like you let go, and the worries you initially felt you had to overcome, they're not even there anymore. They've shifted out of the landscape, your reality at the time. Well, there's so many new skills that are happening when you're on a trail ride like this, because you're, to begin with, you're putting your life in the hands of the horses. So just really listening to the horses, trusting in the trail, trusting in your guide. So that skill of that's a skill to settle into that place in yourself, without feeling like you have to ask a ton of questions, just like accepting the journey. And I learned a ton of just practical skills, of course, the horse care, setting up camp, staking the horses was fantastic from start to finish, and being a part of that process. Just the heavy work, and the focus, and the collaboration that comes with caring for the horses, and making sure they're well fed in the meadows. And I just love the fact that we could feed the horses out here, and we made sure we took really good care of them so they could take care of us. And then, there's always social skills that are being learned underneath everything. And just connecting with people, and recognizing when you feel a little bit unsure of how you are with others, that it's okay. Everybody is going to pace themselves around connection in a different way. And, for me, there was emotion, and I thought, okay, well, I wonder how people feel about emotion. But then that's okay too, because, I was showing up for myself and being true to myself. And that's, if you think about horses, they do that every day. They're a good example of that. The senses are just so wide awake when you're in nature. I know we all just really felt the weather, and the change of weather, the wind when it blows, or like this morning we were talking about the fog that lies over the lake. So the visual stimulus is just constant. We're in this meadow right now, and it's just stunning. The heart is constantly connecting to what it wants. And what I really wanted is just to be back in nature in a really deep way. And the smells of the wildflowers, every once in a while you're going through the forest and you just get this waft of scent, and it just kind of just fills you up. And so there's the sense of the awe, the wonder, the humbleness of this beautiful land. That just, it's a remarkable thing. The protection of nature has always been important to me, right from when I was young. And a child of the 70s, we started really young protecting nature, recycling, and being aware of our environment, our impact on the environment. So this is just added on to a passion that I've had all my life around protection and conservation, just really always being cognizant of your impact on the environment. The conservation and data collection part, the science that we're doing out here is so valuable, and hopefully will lead further generations to important protection of species and habitats. My daughter's a biologist, so I thought of her a lot out here, and her work that she does around habitat protection. So I think that part, like I said, is true to who I am, and just allowed me to fill up a bit more in that place. It was really important for me to be self-sufficient with my horse, and it's a work in progress, but I had a lot of support around that, and I really achieved a lot of my goals around being more self-sufficient with my horse. It's like watching. Self-sufficiency is often coming from watching others, and then instead of needing to ask the question, just do what you've observed and do your best, and then maybe check in once in a while and say, did I do this correctly, or can you double check on this? And then over time that lessens, because you're feeling more confident with your skills and your ability to be intuitive as well. The environment is just so nourishing, and it's constantly giving and asking you to be present and to be guided and humbled, and to provide opportunity for the wholeness to be seen. And often in life, we don't feel the wholeness, the completeness of something. We live in spaces that are often fragmented, and this is not a place of that. This is a place of wholeness and goodness, and personal growth comes with that, because it calls to you from your core values and the essence of who you are. Well, I definitely felt empowered physically. That was great, awesome. And I felt empowered around my ability to trust and just to let go of being in a lead position that I've often been in my life, from being an educator and a mother, and just to trust that I was in the right place at the right time, and I was going to learn new skills, and I was going to be nimble in my thinking, and socially I was going to try my best to just be kind and gentle and accepting of other people. I was empowered by my horse skills, and after, I had a horse as a young person, and it's been 40 years since I've been on a horse again, so that felt so empowering. It's like the body memory. The body knows what it really loves. That was empowering. I felt empowered to work through my times of self-doubt by, again, just saying the mantra I had for the trip: Brenda, you're just going to do your very best, and it's going to be good enough. And that's very empowering. I think that's a message I want to continue to use as I move forward in my life. Moving forward, I'm already excited to share with my family this experience, because I had so much support from them saying, Mom, you got to do this. This is really great that you planned this trip. I've been kind of looking into it even 5 years ago. So bringing it back to my family, my female powerhouses, my granddaughter as well as part of that, just telling them, like, I've been surrounded by a group of women that are incredibly inspiring, and it just affirmed that strong sense of connection I have with seeing women in really strong, empowering places, and just the sky's the limit. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that part, and not only sharing it, but living it with a stronger sense of commitment to it, and confidence about my female power and empowerment comes with knowing that it's just in you, and you've got to tap it, and never to forget that. You can't be lazy with things like this. Life is pushing on, and you want to be your true self. You want to feel the spirit of your true nature and express it to people you love and care about.